Hello! I promised myself I'd never let this become a reaction channel, but if there's something that's worth talking about, well, may as well talk about it. Now, as a young Civilization fan, and by that I mean one who's only been with the franchise for about a decade, gotta admit I'm pretty excited for Civilization VII. Have heard some mixed things, but excited, and man, let's just get on to it. Here we go. Here we go. Getting ready to lose another 1,000 hours. Narrator. Turn down the volume. Are these Reddit comments? I have never r/save. Wow. I have never once been worried about who was narrating the new Civ game. It was Sean Bean last time, right?
Throughout our history, ordinary people have done extraordinary things.
Gwendolyn Christie!
Illuminating our potential.
Alright. A second Game of Thrones actor?
They inspired movements.
She has a great voice. I'll give her that. It's just...
created the impossible and destroyed the indestructible. Ordinary people
it's an interesting choice. But
chose to dream.
She has a good voice. I'll leave it.
Build.
Okay. Well, alright.
To hope.
Alright. Alright.
To always hope. And if there's hope for one of us, there's hope for us all.
It's weird to make such a big deal out of her being the narrator. I mean, I feel like Sean Bean had way more star power. Still does, and like he didn't get that kind of whatever. Okay, let's get to the game, but that's what matters. I don't really care who's narrating. I don't know why they thought I did, but okay.
Hello, Civ fans. On behalf of all of us here at Firaxis Games, we'd like to welcome you to a first look at the next chapter in our Civilization franchise, Civilization VII. You know, looking back 30 years ago, Civilization was created during a time when we were still learning what games could really be. We were searching for that next big challenge to take on, which led us to thinking, what could be greater than putting the entire history of the world into a video game and make it fun? 3 decades later, it's because of your passion, your love for Civ, that we're still here today. In every game of Civ, you've gone on a journey to build an empire to stand the test of time.
And destroy Gandhi.
Now the journey continues. Prepare to take just one more turn on February 11th, 2025, when we launch Civilization VII across PC and consoles, all on day one, for the first time in franchise history.
Can't wait till 6 months later when DLC's out and the game is finished.
The most ambitious game we've ever made at Firaxis. It represents a significant gameplay evolution for the Civ franchise, and it's a game we plan to support for many years to come.
Oh.
Today, you'll learn about the vision for the game.
That sounds
the
live
driving force
servicey.
that inspired our biggest new feature. You'll see your Civ world brought to life like never before, and you'll discover why Civilization VII promises to be a revolutionary new chapter in this franchise that we all love so dearly.
All right.
Please enjoy.
Please don't make it a live service. Please don't. Please don't make it a live service.
Civilization is the foundation of Firaxis.
Well, that's only because you haven't made an XCOM game recently that was good.
Joined us more recently. We're so grateful for your continued passion and support. When you walk around our studio, you can feel the energy and excitement. You can see how inspired our people are to come in and build the next Civ game.
Civilization is the ultimate historical strategy game. Your goal in Civ is to build an empire to stand the test of time. You select a civilization, led by a famous historical leader, and guide your Civ's journey across the entire span of human history.
I mean, I know that.
You shape your empire.
I don't think there are a lot of
piece by
new
piece.
players watching this.
From what technologies you want to research,
Train
to
stations,
what
okay.
civics you want your society to uphold.
Dang, showing
And
my
you
hand
compete
there.
with
Yes, I
others
like
on the
Warhammer
world
and I like
stage,
trains. I
engaging
know.
in diplomacy,
Ben Franklin!
negotiating alliances, and sometimes
Confucius?
going to war.
Interesting. And
In every Civilization game, Your empire has
Okay.
always been represented by a single civilization. You play through the entire span of history as that one civilization. This time around, we want to take you on a new journey.
For the first time ever, in Civilization VII, the story of your empire isn't just that of a single civ, but several, connected together through time. At the dawn of each new age of human advancement, you'll select a new civ to represent your empire. You'll build on and carry forward your previous achievements while unlocking new gameplay bonuses to reinforce or pivot your strategy. And by the end, you'll have forged a unique path through history.
I mean,
To
if it's
show
like
you
a
what
more
we mean,
comprehensive
let's
version of
take
those
you through the
stupid
story of
cards from
one
Civ
such
6, then I'm
empire.
into that. I mean, that was a good idea. It was just felt flippant. Okay. Okay. Couple
It is
yellow
the
flags
dawn
so
of a
far,
new
but
age.
we're some really good stuff too.
The age
I like the
of
map.
antiquity,
That's gorgeous. Wow.
where humanity begins to take its first steps into the annals of history. The
Ooh.
great pharaoh,
Whoa.
Hatshepsut,
Ooh. Wow.
leads
Those
the
are
civilization of
those are
ancient
some
Egypt.
graphics right there. Ooh.
Among the
Okay.
arid desert lands and a winding river, the seeds of our people
The
are
animations
rooted
are
in
good.
sand and water.
All right.
To discover what treasures and dangers lie beyond, a brave scout begins to survey and map the surrounding lands.
Okay.
As our population grows, a new granary is built to store food for hungry mouths. Its location decided, a new district is formed.
Okay, I like the
And
idea of like
construction
granaries
begins.
and buildings being districts
With
and not
more food
themselves.
available, our people look to make improvements to the land. An ancient
I'm into
fruit,
that. Okay.
ripe
Yeah, I
for
felt like the
cultivation, is
districts in
spotted.
Civ 6 were limiting.
Dates will provide more sustenance for our citizens,
Okay.
and their sweetness will make the people happy. A plantation is constructed to harvest this valuable resource. Over time, our city continues to grow as more urban and rural developments spring forth.
I do like the way
We
the cities
pursue
look.
advancements in technology to serve.
I
the
love that
needs
it
of our
feels
people.
so unbroken.
Breakthroughs in irrigation
really
further
like that.
enhance our food production, while sailing unlocks our ability to traverse the nearby waters. It is now possible to journey further and expand our empire. With a deft hand, our scout travels along a navigable river. Their tenacity is rewarded with the discovery of a breathtaking
I love
series
sailing on
of
rivers. Love
waterfalls.
that. That is something that
This
the franchise has
natural
needed.
wonder
Love
of the
that.
world
Love the idea of
attracts
being
the
able to sail on
imagination
rivers.
of our
Absolutely
people.
has needed that. I
And
think
brave settlers begin the long trek
think
to claim new land
Endless
for the
one of the
Egyptian
Endless
Empire.
games had that. You couldn't actually sail. It was just like a
A new town is established near the majestic falls. A town starts from humble beginnings and is initially used to gather
You know what I've wanted
nearby
for a long
resources.
time? When you're building a
Perhaps
city
in the future,
near
this town will grow
a,
large enough to specialize and gain its own
is it
identity as a
a
city.
world wonder, I wish there was like a pilgrimage mechanic
Our expansion
where like
does
you
not
could
go
devote
unnoticed.
extra resources to keeping it up.
A foreign
You know,
scout
to, like,
is spotted.
Because obviously they're going to
revealing
be in
the
places where there might not be a lot of
existence
resources.
a nearby independent power.
And then of course they become
Initial
like tourism
hostilities
hotspots in
are
the modern
tempered over
age.
time as friendly relations begin to form.
I see
And
the icons
peace
are
does
popping
not
up on the
dampen
side of the
our
screen with like these
ambitions.
wooden bases.
Our
If
people
you're gonna
strive
go
forth
for
to
the
create great
like
wonders the
toy
world has
aesthetic,
never seen
go
before.
for it full force. Okay, just go all in on it. I feel like they're halfway
As we
between right
continue
now.
to expand and explore the continent, we encounter new civilizations.
That would be a way better way to stylize the game than they did in Civ 6.
They are eager to engage in a bartering of ideas
This-
and goods.
Ooh,
Trade
ooh,
routes
these are
established,
these are some textures.
providing mutual access to each
wow.
empire's resources. But our rapid
Yeah.
growth does not go unnoticed.
Oh, these are.
Our
Okay,
neighbors' ambitions rival our own, setting us on a
It's
collision
real
course.
so bad. All I can think of is those.
Is
I've been spending
no
too much time on
longer
r/New
avoidable.
Vegas. All I can see is like the femboy legion.
A great army is raised, led by formidable commanders who spur our forces quickly across the land.
Okay. All right.
Spears and arrows make way for iron swords and armor. The battles are fierce. We emerge victorious.
They could have given him some shit.
The
on
challenges of this age have shaken our mighty Egyptian empire to its core. The world changes. We feel the pages of history turn as the age
there river
of
resources you can build
antiquity
workboats
comes to a
for?
close.
That's very cool if that's the
New
case.
age of
That's
human
very cool. I
advancement
like
approaches.
that. I hope that's the case.
The age of exploration. A new age brings forth new challenges and new opportunities. New technologies to research. New resources to acquire. New lands to explore. If we are to take on the challenges of this new age, we must adapt and select a new civilization to represent our empire. One that is better equipped to take on the challenges of the exploration age.
Okay.
This new civilization builds on top of its past legacy. And our actions in this age will inevitably
I like the
influence
mixed
future
building.
yet to
I mean, they
come.
already kind of had that.
As we evolve,
Buildings in like cities would
so
already
too
change
do
depending
our
on the
neighbors.
era, like in terms of material
the stage
and
is
aesthetic.
set.
Now, essentially, you just
New age begins.
continue to build
Will
off
you
that old
follow
one, and that's
a path
cool.
set by history,
I'm not sure if it needs to be its
or will
own
you pivot
age
and
or
forge
era.
something anew?
That's
What
cool.
kind of empire will you make?
Okay.
What strategies will you pursue?
Those are
The
some
future
graphics.
is yours to create. In Sid Meier's Civilization VII.
Okay. So this is their
The
big
journey
new
of
mechanic.
Hatshepsut,
They're
brought to
really
life by
pushing.
our
All right.
wonderful new narrator Gwendolyn Christie, is just one.
Never
potential
once cared
path
about the
you can take in
narrator.
Civilization
When they made it
VII.
Sean Bean, I was like,
This is
why
made
did they even spend the
possible
money?
by our
That was my
biggest
honest
new
reaction
feature,
when he narrated the last game. I like
Ages
Sean
are
Bean, but I was like,
inspired by a
I like
transformational
Gwendolyn
idea
Christie.
for Civ, that
Why'd they spend the
history
money? I don't
is
care.
built in layers. This idea is a way of understanding how civilizations have grown, changed, and evolved over time.
Think of the first civilizations of the world as creating an initial foundation. As a civilization grows, new layers are added to that foundation in the form of things like technologies, schools of thought, and cultural norms. At some point, civilizations, faced with a crisis that defines their time, must evolve. When that happens, these past layers don't disappear. Instead, they now serve as a new foundation for the new civilization. As the cycle repeats, connecting the past, present, and future together.
I mean, I like that in theory, but like,
Instead
is it
of
just like you
playing
can
as
pick a
one
totally
single
random
across
civilization?
every age, you'll
to be the
evolve your
next
empire
era?
into a new civilization for each new age.
Why?
One that is suited to take on the historical challenges of that time.
Oh, okay.
Every age is designed to be like a historical
I
sandbox.
have mixed feelings
as a
on
way
that.
to really immerse yourself in that time. Almost everything inside an age
Is there like a limited
exclusive
number
to
of
that
civs you could
age.
pick, or is it just
That
like
includes
any of
things
them?
like which technologies
'Cause
and
I'm not-
civics you can research, what resources are available to be gained, which independent powers surround you, to even things like gameplay systems and civilizations, all unique to that age.
Having unique civs for each age is something we're really excited about. In the past, every civ needed to be balanced across a game that spans all of history. This naturally resulted in things like late era civs being strong in the late game, but weak early on.
Yes, that's what makes them a
Now,
late game
we can
civ.
balance
That's
around
okay.
age
That's the
itself.
balance. You struggle in the
This
early game.
means
I like
we
playing
get
as Brazil
every
for exactly
civ
that reason.
bonuses,
Man, these
units,
graphics.
and
Ooh.
buildings that are always relevant and powerful. Having exclusive civs per age is also great for historical immersion.
Is
Every
it?
age feels like an epic showdown of some of the great powers of that time.
We'll have 3 ages for you to play. The Antiquity Age.
3?
When agricultural societies begin to cluster into urban centers, forming the
They had more
foundations
ages than
of
that
the
in
first
previous
civilizations. The Exploration Age, when the desire for precious commodities from distant lands spurs empires to stretch across great oceans. And the Modern Age, a period of incredible technological growth and global conflict, where mankind goes from the development of the steam engine to the splitting of the atom.
Okay.
Every
There are
age
only
can be
3
played on
ages?
its own, or woven together into a full campaign.
There are only there were more in previous games.
In past games, civs and leaders were always tied together and came as a package deal of agendas, abilities, units, and more. With civs being exclusive to ages, we're excited to introduce a new innovation for leaders. For the first time in franchise history, leaders are now selected independently from civilizations. You can now mix and match unique parts of different civs and leaders, unlocking all new strategic combinations.
Why?
Staying true
Why?
to Civ's spirit of experimentation. For players who want to stick to more historical pairings, a useful indicator will appear on the Civ selection screen.
We're also taking the opportunity to expand who we
I'm not a
consider
fan of that.
to be a leader in Civilization VII.
Okay, it could lead to some interesting gameplay choices.
Such as Hatchet, but we're also
It
excited.
makes the
to
civs
have
themselves
new
like because they're
leaders
not
in areas
you're not
such
linked
as
to leaders
philosophy,
and they're not linked
religion,
to individual.
science.
They're only
and
linked to
more.
eras. They're not even like
Having
you don't
leaders
play this
stay
the
the
same
same
civ.
across
So
ages
the actual
helps bring a
civilization
sense of
itself
who
in
you're
Civilization
playing
is like
against in Civilization
more
7.
devalued than
It
ever.
also gives you the opportunity to keep
Okay, I haven't played the game yet.
going. As
So
our empire evolves
and only
from
3
one age to the
eras.
next,
You're gonna make this big deal
It's
about the
important
different
that
eras.
your
Only
leader grows
3
as
of them.
well.
There were more in previous games.
all leaders now have attributes that can further specialize their skills. These attributes can be gained in a variety of ways, from completing narrative events to rewards
I
for
do like side
researching certain
quests. That was one of my
technologies
favorite
and
things
civics.
about Beyond Earth. I'm
Overall,
one of like
leaders
the
are getting
4
a
people that
huge
will actually
upgrade.
defend that game.
They're more powerful, more varied, and more strategically
Okay.
interesting than ever. We cannot wait for you
Okay.
to discover your new favorite leader in Civilization VII.
Who's not linked to a civ. Okay. Okay, what do these ages
When
look
one
like?
age ends and you
okay,
begin an
okay.
age transition, it is an incredibly exciting moment. You'll select a new civilization to represent your empire in the new age. You'll choose parts of your past civ to carry forward into the new one. And the game map literally expands, filled with new independent powers to befriend, new resources to acquire, and new discoveries to be made.
During an age transition, there are a few factors that determine which civ you can evolve into. This includes any historical connections between your previous and future civ, your choice of leader, and even certain gameplay decisions that you made in the past age. Every civ plays differently. Across your game, you might want to stay as true to history as possible, only selecting civs that have historical ties to each other.
You can just go
Or
from
you
Egypt
might
to
switch
Mongolia.
civs that fit your strategic needs.
There are so many possible paths to explore.
I don't like that.
So many different
I mean,
choices
it would be
you can
cool
make.
to see your
The
city
potential for
evolve.
strategy in
Like,
Civilization
aesthetically,
7 is
it sounds
nearly
cool.
endless.
And like that is the best thing I've seen so far is what the cities look like. They're gorgeous. But like,
Something we hear often from players is about how when you play a game of Civ, you forget the world around you. Video games, more than any other medium,
the cities do
have this
look
ability to
beautiful.
completely immerse
I'll
you
give
in
them
another
that.
universe.
And the age
Whether it's
mechanic
through art,
and changing
music,
civs sounds like a cool way to
cinematic
build
moments,
cool
or
cities.
language,
I feel like that's
our
where they put all
goal
their
is to bring
eggs in that
your
one
Civ world
basket.
to life.
Getting the look and feel for Civilization VII right is critical, so it's important to make sure we are capturing that through our art style. I spent a lot of time as a kid in museums, especially in the diorama sections, and being able to walk by and see these little miniatures that aren't moving, but there's a story told in them was something that I always found intriguing. Technology changes every time we put one of these games out, and each time we put one out, we can do more.
I love going to the
And we're at a
Chicago
spot
in the
industry
museum
now
campus.
where
It's either the
we've
Natural
got a
History
lot of
Museum or
tourism,
the
a lot
Art
of power under our
Institute.
belts to represent
But their
the
dioramas and like
entire
the
world
Mississippian
of
cultures of
civilization.
Illinois
We're hoping that
One of my
players
favorite
can look
places
into
on
this
Earth.
game, see
Love
the
it.
diametric
So that's
detail on this, and
so
tell
they're
them
appealing to
the
the one
stories
thing
that
I
we've
like.
told before.
The one thing the thing I
Everything
like
is
the
going
most
to
is
fit
where
together
they
in
seem to be
a
putting their
different way
effort.
than it has
So
in the
that's
past from Civilization.
that's
And
good.
I think it's going to give you a much more
I guess.
realistic version of the simulation that you're trying to create. We took a lot what we learned in the Civ 6 and learned from that, trying to open up some more spaces and everything. And we adjusted the
They're a lot more
tone from
sprawling.
6-bit, and
I do
think
like
that's what
that.
fans are looking for, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun for them. It's something that nobody else is doing, and nobody but Firaxis can do.
I think players will love how combat looks. We greatly expanded the variety
Whoa,
of
what was that,
units
like,
in Civ 7.
Unity engine, like,
Units now
like,
constantly
fall?
engage one another.
Oh!
You'll see and hear the clashing of swords and steel. Units have a higher level of fidelity than ever before. Everything from the little parts and pieces and details on the armor set to the entire representation of a whole army on a battlefield. I feel like this is going to become your Civ. Like this is the one. It has the look.
Firaxis takes its representation.
Quick break, quick break. I don't know. Mixed thoughts so far, but let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Stay positive.
Very seriously. Language is a critical part of
Ben Franklin.
civilization.
It's an interesting choice of leader.
It's how people tell their story.
Yeah, that's a funny thing. I feel like if they're going to expand leaders to not just be like heads of state, I feel like
This is important because we are trying to teach through this game.
that
It's
would make
important
more
to our
sense if you wanted the leaders to only
They want
be
to see
unique
their
to each
cultures
individual age.
represented correctly.
That would make more sense.
In many cases,
If you wanted to
some
do that.
players
They're
have
not.
never seen
But
their
Ben
culture
Franklin from
represented
start to
anywhere
finish,
else.
an American Civ, I mean, not that Washington
Brings
is
great
more
pride and
canonical,
joy
but
to be able to
still,
see themselves included in the history of the world.
it's
Music also
an
plays an
interesting
important role in
choice.
bringing out the spirit and essence of each civilization. Every Civ has its own theme, and we're excited to share that Chris Tin, who composed the Grammy Award-winning theme Baba Yetu for Civilization 4 and the main theme for Civilization 6, is returning for Civilization 7.
The main theme
And
for
we cannot
Civilization
wait for you to
6
hear it.
sucked. So, sorry.
Today represents just an initial look at what's to come in Civilization VII.
Okay.
We have so much more to share, from gameplay deep dives to first looks at new leaders and civilizations, to what you can expect from Civ 7 post-launch.
Sid Meier's Civilization 7 releases on February 11th, 2025, and is available to pre-order today. Players
Internet
who pre-order
connection required to
Civilization 7
redeem
will
bonus
receive
content.
the Tecumseh Shawnee Pack.
Ooh, Tecumseh.
If you
Like
haven't
that.
already, be sure to create a 2K account and sign up for our Civ newsletter to receive the latest updates.
Do you need my data that badly?
Doing so will unlock the exclusive Emperor persona for Napoleon in Civilization 7.
Personas.
And as a special thank you, if you use
That's a
that
mechanic
same
they
2K
haven't
account
mentioned
to
yet.
play
That's
Civ 6,
that's locked behind
you'll
them
automatically
getting
unlock
my data.
Napoleon's revolutionary persona in Civ 7. Check out our website at civilization.com for full details, and be sure to follow Civ for all the latest.
We hope you enjoyed this first look at Civilization VII. The entire team at Firaxis has been working very hard to make sure we deliver a game that gives you more reasons to take just one more turn.
This woman has never played video games in her
As we
life.
welcome Civ 7 into the Civ family, I think back to the legacy of Civilization, of 30 years of development, refinement, iteration, exploration, of the millions of players that have contributed, of the billions of hours that have been played. I'm so proud to be here for this moment, welcoming Civ 7 into the family. February 11th, 2025 isn't too far away. We're excited to be taking
Not.
this journey.
Should probably fix the character models before then. Okay. It's coming out on Switch. That's interesting. Okay. So. Okay. Initial thoughts. A bit mixed. I haven't played the game yet, and there's a lot of gameplay coming out because a lot of streamers are getting their hands on early copies, so I'll probably check those out. Maybe I'll make a more comprehensive video on my thoughts if you guys are into it. But this, I did see a couple yellow flags, some live service talk. It's just, it's interesting. It's interesting. There are parts that I really, really, really like, and there are parts where I'm like, why? If I'm really gonna put my cynical hat on, the limiting of civs to individual ages and the personas thing that they casually mention at the end and a couple other things, it feels, and based on where Civilization VI diverged from previous games, it feels like they're chopping the game up to make it more DLC centric, you know, especially with live service stuff that seemed to be hinted at. I'm getting that vibe that they're chopping the game up in a really specific way, and I wonder if that's going to end up coming at the cost of the actual gameplay itself. That's my main worry right now. Are they going to make choices to gameplay and to civilization building that make it DLC centric at the cost of the gameplay itself, at the cost of fun? That's what I worry about. So they call it, you pick a different civilization every era, which I'm already not a fan of, but you keep the same leader? I guess there's got to be something that's consistent, but like, I mean, that sounds cool in order to make cooler cities that are better aesthetically, but not, from gameplay perspective, it's stupid. I don't know. I have mixed feelings. I don't know. Anyway, I guess that's all I can say for right now. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.